show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 801. Hello, it is Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today, so that we may all think good thoughts from my mom who really needs it right now, I'm bringing you her inspired segment, WOW SCHATZ WOW, featuring some very interesting news stories. Plus, we'll hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, and they've opened up a
Mike's Daily Podcast
time capsule from George Washington's day.
Mike's Daily Podcast
Was the body of Icabod Crane and therein was he awakened, and does he now have to fight Moloch? Yeah, I'm the only Quaker left that watches that show. I'm not really a Quaker, but it rhymed right there, and now I'm rhyming and dancing, and look at the with flair I have. Wait, is that a good thing?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And I don't understand why the movie Batman and Robin was made. I watched it.
Mike's
I have never watched that before.
Daily
You have the George Clooney
Podcast
and the Christopher Plummer.
Yeah!
I mean the Chris O'Donnell. For some reason, those two actors are forever wire crossed in my head, even though they're ages apart, age-wise. Look who just walked in. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
And it's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you
What?
what's all this yip now about Benita being a doctor and whatnot?
Yeah, she's a doctor, and did you, by the way, Benita, did you repair Bison Bentley? Yeah, it took no time at all. I just got some duct tape. I use that all the time, too. Amazing. And yeah, the Chris O'Donnell and Alicia Silverstone, Uma Thurman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, they're all in this movie. And, oh, look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. I make the reaper. I'm the brewmaster. Oh boy, and I was in that movie too.
Yeah, I think I saw you. And everybody was in that movie. I think the person listening to this podcast, the one person, was in that movie too. So, yeah, Joel Shoemaker made it. Looked like he was trying to be a Tim Burton. Trying to do the Tim Burton thing, didn't quite work out. And I bet DC Comics is so happy they met Christopher Nolan. And Christopher Nolan said, hey, I'll make a Batman movie. And boy, he did, and it resurrected that entire comic book franchise. Oh, wait, I should have prefaced all this with
Mike's absolutely useless review.
but I didn't. Yeah. Mark, I saw that movie too. I think everybody that was in that movie destroyed their movie careers. You might be right. Yes, because Arnold pretty much left movies after that and became a governor. You had George Clooney did pretty well. But then Uma Thurman, really, what's she been in? The Alicia Silverstone, she's a vegan, sells vegan cookbooks. Chris O'Donnell, he's on TV now. He got out of movies, and he's in that NCIS thing with Tone Loc.
Mike, I believe you mean LL Cool J. Tell you what.
Wow, you're up on your hip hop. You're hopping on that hip hop. Once again, let's hear it for hip hop. I think we applauded hip hop last show or the show before. Yeah.
Mike, I like beer, so I'm hip hoppy. What the hell is that for?
I have no idea, but it happened. Drums fell down. Yeah, you know what else fell down is this thing called the newspapers. I did not realize that the newspaper in San Francisco, the Guardian, the Bay Guardian, is gone. I was shocked. Whenever you go over there to San Francisco, like I did today, from the East Bay, I pick up the throwaway papers like the SF Weekly, the Epoch Times, and some of these newspapers, the the Examiner thing, end up on segments like WOW SCHATZ WOW. But the Guardian just vanished. I had no idea. It's gone. So a moment of silence for that. All All right, that wasn't a very silent, but it'll work. So today, Boston Museum of Fine Arts conservator Pam Hatchfield carefully pulled out 5 newspapers, speaking of which, 23 coins dating back as far as 1652, a medal depicting George Washington, and a silver plate, all from a time capsule buried 220 years ago by none other than the guy who we drink his beer all the time today, and we get all happy when we do, Samuel Adams. Sam Adams beer, lager, is that from? Paul Revere and Revolutionary Colonel William Scolay buried this time capsule, the 3 of them, 220 years ago. Isn't that amazing? This, according to theweek.com, the items inside were already known. The capsule had been accidentally unearthed at the Massachusetts State House in 1855, and the contents had been cataloged, but conservators were unsure about their condition. Once the small box was opened, they could see that the newspapers were in decent shape, and some of the coins were corroded. They were also able to read an inscription on the silver plate, quote, "This cornerstone of a building intended for the use of the legislative and executive branches of the government of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts was laid by His Excellency Samuel Adams, Esquire, Governor of the said Commonwealth." And then there was also a Bart Simpson sandwich in there that then became a whole breed of bats that took over Futurama. Did you not see that Futurama Simpsons crossover? It was wonderful. The Simpsons have done a couple crossovers this season, including, of course, with Family Guy. It's interesting. Finding and opening the time capsule was, quote, "what we as conservators live for," Hatchfield said. Officials are now trying to decide what to do with the relics. Secretary of State William Gavin says it's likely the items will go on display and then be returned to the cornerstone of the State House. What do you think about time capsules? What do you think about the Batman and Robin George Clooney movie? Did you want to see another George Clooney as Batman movie? Were you waiting for that? Are you upset that Christopher Nolan hijacked the whole Batman franchise? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. Benita, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I can't wait for Ben Affleck to become Batman, because that's going to be as close as we're going to get to George Clooney being Batman. I put together Bison Bentley again.
Thank you for doing that.
With duct tape. I gotta go, bow, I'm going down to the local hardware store and buy some more duct tape.
Mike, I was in the movie Batman and Robin.
Yeah. We got to that already on the show.
Oh, okay. I'm just looking at my script, and I realized that I can't read.
You can't read my writing?
That too. Oh, boy.
Well, reading is fundamental. And that Icabod Crane would tell you that get thee to a school so that you may learn.
Okay, bye. Y'all bye.
That is the proper way to leave a premises, is to say bye, I'll bye. Did you know? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com to tell me if you did know. And what you think of Batman and Robin and all the other stuff. And also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show. MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. There's also the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, with links to where to listen to the show in iTunes. Please rate and comment on the show there, because if you do that, no matter how you feel about this show, if you want to just let go some vitriol, feel free. I know I've got my foibles. For one thing, my voice. It's not the best. It could be better. But God gave me this, and I use it, and I thank you for hearing it and being entertained, moved, confused by it. MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. That's where you can find the link to where to listen to us in iTunes and comment on it. If you do that, no matter what you say, we get higher up in ranking and more people find out about us. There's also links to where to find us on Facebook. Like the Facebook page, and when I post a new show, share it with your friends, and more people will find out about us that way too, and that's wonderful. There's also the Amazon link. click on that whenever you're going to buy something, whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe you're going to buy some britches. You click on that, buy those britches, and then we get a little bit of that. You can also find links to where to find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spreaker, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Yelp, Tumblr, and Twitter. All there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Yes, we're on Yelp. If you haven't Yelped about us yet, do that too. If you do that, we smile. All those links and the blog, the daily podcast picture, and past interviews there, all at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Wow Schatz Wow.
As I have mentioned before on this show, my mom, when I tell her something that really surprises her, she goes, "Wow Schatz Wow." And so here are some stories that I bring to you that will make you go, "Wow Schatz Wow," probably. And we start with a song that had a really weird video. When I first saw this video that had that weird animatronic lifeless head that was talking, that was so weird. Such primitive technology now, but at the time was like the weirdest thing. Okay, anyway, speaking of wild boys, there's a new wild man out on the streets. You can find him at your nearest CrossFit gym. Doing jerks and cleans, and afterwards Instagramming a sweaty selfie with hashtag WOD, workout of the day. CrossFidiots. Catch him devouring wild boar and wild elk meat loaf with a side of rustic root vegetable mash for lunch. Douche. Early morning, that's him barefoot running in 5 Fingers shoes. Idiot. At the bar, he'll be putting back Strongbow hard cider and maybe tequila. It's natural. It's from the agave plant. If he's in for a crazy night. Jerks. If you want to know how he got to look and feel the way he does, just ask. He'll tell you all about his transformation and encourage you to join along. 2 words, CrossFit and paleo. The diet, the lifestyle, the workout are nothing new, but have been growing in popularity to the point that it seems every fit specimen you encounter is plugged into the cult of functional movement fueled by hunter-gatherer sustenance. While CrossFit first emerged on the West Coast in 2000, you can now find one in nearly every neighborhood across Manhattan and in Brooklyn. There are plenty of reasons why CrossFit and paleo commingle so well, but the main line is they both represent life hacks. Paleo appeals to the kind of guy who has better things to do than count calories, in the words of one of the major players, New York City-based John Durant, author of the Paleo Manifesto. Instead, he can heap on a well-balanced meal of meat, veggies, carbs by way of roots and tubers, nuts, and burn fat without going hungry. At CrossFit, he can work out for an hour less and fewer days a week, but because of the high intensity of the workout, burn much more and build more muscle than in the hours, days, and years he spent lifting at a typical gym. They even hack the diet. Ask anyone who's practicing a paleo diet how strict he is, and he will qualify it in percentages, says Jury Henley Cohn, a 36-year-old actor who works out at a CrossFit. Quote, "My wife got a chocolate chip cookie the other day, and I ate some of it. I drank beer over the weekend. I'm about 85%. I flex on dairy. I eat some white rice. I definitely drink too much." Douche. Well, paleo is short for the Paleolithic era, obviously. The period from 2.6 million years ago to 20,000 years ago, when our ancestors were happy hunter-gatherers for their brief lives, average age 30, until they died from rotting gangrene or being mauled by a saber-toothed tiger. But significantly, none of them died from heart disease, diabetes, depression, obesity, or any other diseases of civilization, which didn't crop up until 10,000 BC, the dawn of agriculture. The argument is that from an evolutionary standpoint, life in the Paleolithic era is more our natural state compared to the meager 10,000 years we've been eating